is Alexis
and Lilian.
So last night we watched Happiest season, which is the first ever lesbian Christmas rom-com, and we're here to review it for you.
We're gonna be sharing what we thought about it, give it our rating, and if you haven't watched it yet, we're also gonna tell you where you can watch it even if you're not in the States. Also, if you haven't watched it, don't worry, we're gonna warn you where the part starts where we're gonna be mentioning potential spoilers. So for now you can keep watching. Everyone's excited that we finally have some representation in such a previously straight genre. I'm not a fan of Christmas movies, I'm not a fan of rom-coms, but I was like, let me check out the trailer, and I actually thought it was pretty funny, and then I was like, we should watch this and we should review it. And then I asked Alexis what she thought of it, thinking that she would love it and I would have been the one skeptic about it, but what were your thoughts on it?
I kind of got like major cheese vibes when I watched it. I was like, okay. Like I knew I was going to watch it because like, hello, Kristen Stewart's in it.
So if you don't know what the movie's about, here's a quick plot summary without spoilers.
So it's about a queer couple, and the one girl wants to bring her partner home to meet the family for Christmas, but she's still in the closet and hasn't come out to her family. So yeah, it's just kind of based around that.
The one character, Kristen Stewart, she only finds out as they're already on the way to meeting the parents that her girlfriend actually hasn't come out yet, and that she needs to pretend to be her roommate, her orphan roommate. Then the whole movie is kind of about how they're navigating that, them hiding that they're actually a couple, and of course it kind of like unfolds through the course of a few days. Her family is like super conservative.
Her father's running for mayor and like trying to be like picture perfect, and she has 2 other sisters.
There's a lot of competition, and Kristen Stewart's more like the, I guess, more like edgy one that doesn't really fit in with the picture. So that's kind of what the plot is about and what you can also take away from the trailer. So I saw after watching the trailer that the movie had initially a 92% rating on Rotten Tomatoes by critics.
Yeah, so then I automatically was like, okay, so there's something good about this film.
Okay, so if this has sparked your interest, you want to watch this but you don't know how,
here's how.
So the movie dropped on November 25th on Hulu. So if you're in the States, you can just watch it there. If you're in Canada, the movie was released on November 26th on on-demand networks. So you can go to like iTunes, Cineplex, and go there, and I think it costs about $10 or so, and then you can just buy it and watch it there. Anywhere else in the world, I believe the UK also has a similar distribution network, but if you're, for example, in Deutschland or other parts of the world, you can get access to the movie through a VPN.
So there are many different VPNs out there, but we currently use Surfshark, which is also sponsoring this video today. Just go download Surfshark and set your location to Canada. There you can go to cineplex.com or also iTunes, and then just buy the film there and watch it.
Yeah, so it's like the on-demand services. Literally all you need to do is download Surfshark VPN. We also got you covered with a Black Friday deal. You just need to use the code Alexis Lilian. Then you're gonna get 83% off, plus 4 extra months free, and a 30-day money-back guarantee if you're like, okay, this is really not for me. So there is no harm in trying it, and that way you get to watch this queer rom-com, because I feel like everyone should have access to it, and I know that a lot of other countries don't even have a release date set for it yet. So, okay, so now that you know how to watch it, do that if you haven't yet,
and then come back.
So, let's talk about the movie. First, let's chat about the cast.
So yeah, I really like that it was, of course, Kristen Stewart, and I also really love that it was Mackenzie Davis, because she is also in the San Junipero episode of Black Mirror. If you haven't watched that, please go and do that.
Also, the movie is directed by Clea DuVall, so she is like a queer icon. She wrote and directed the movie, and she said that she wanted to see a queer Christmas movie and there was nothing out there, so she just did it herself, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, and it's actually based on like her own experience.
So yeah, it's always great to see that there's actually like queer minds behind it, and also a queer, or at least partially queer cast, rather than just a straight white male director being like, let's get some money from these lesbian people out there.
Blue is the warmest color.
Still loved it though. Also, Dan Levy is in it as the gay best friend. Yeah, I thought the cast was pretty good. So watching it was really nice. We got snuggled up in bed, we made some popcorn, watched it on a projector, so that was really fun. So let's talk about what we actually thought about the movie. There might be some spoilers, so if you haven't watched it yet,
go watch
this
it.
Video, watch it,
come back,
finish, and let's have a chat about it.
I personally thought that it was actually a really nice film. Like, the trailer didn't do justice for me compared to like the actual film. So I thought it was gonna be like way more cheesy. Like, of course it had its cheesy parts, but that's what it is, right? Like a rom-com. So
yeah. What did you think about the jokes?
Yeah, I liked them. I thought they were funny.
Did it make you laugh a lot?
Yeah, like not a lot. I wasn't like crying and like peeing my pants, but like,
yeah,
I thought it was funny and cute.
Still not at the Mrs. Doubtfire level though. What I liked about the movie was I thought it was a very like human movie. It wasn't this like overly cheesy, like you said, movie that was just like everything's amazing and it's just like so like fake and like nothing like deeper to it, you know. Showed you like a real conflict and these real emotions and dilemmas that people have when they're going through. And it was so great to have this queer storyline, and I was just thinking about, you know, straight people who would be watching this and like parents who would be hopefully watching this and for the first time being confronted with this problem that they haven't maybe seen in like mainstream movies before. You know, just seeing like, oh yeah, that is like really hard when you just like love someone but you're like afraid to show your true self to your family, and that is the reality for so many of us. I also really liked the whole like jealousy conflicts. I thought that was very human, how it was like she was hanging out with her ex and then Kristen Stewart was like, well, I'll hang out with this other queer chick then, and then she was getting jealous about that and they were just like hurting each other when it was just like, you know, and it was a response out of frustration and being hurt, and I feel like that's something that was very real and that happens to a lot of people. So I thought that was like pretty authentic and I liked that. Yeah,
like how she was like hanging out with, I guess, like her high school ex or whatever, and because of that she was like, oh, you're gonna do that? Well, I'm gonna be like with this guy just to like make you angry. I thought that apart from the whole thing, oh, it's great to have all this queer representation, I really loved that the whole message of the movie to me was that people shouldn't be so hung up and like a reputation and what other people
their
think.
Image and stuff.
And I think that's a message that goes like way deeper even than the queer message, because it involves so many people out there. And it's true how much this is like destroying families and also just like making people deeply unhappy because they feel like they need to pretend for what other people think, and they're just stressing themselves out, you know. But I liked how they also made it more realistic in the way where she like actually came out. It wasn't like, it's okay, Harper, you know, like we'll love you no matter what, but it took the dad like a day or two to be by himself to like really think about it, which I feel like is way more realistic than just being like, no worries, we love you no matter what. You
exactly.
know, like what also was very realistic is after, you know, she came out to her family and everything, she looked at Abby or Kristen Stewart and said like, I did it, like I came out, and then she said like, it's too late. And you're kind of like, oh my god, like you can feel Harper's world almost like crumbling in that moment, like, oh my god, I just came out fully to my family and like now I don't even have the person who I was doing this all for.
Yeah, and it's...
Are you getting emotional?
Yeah.
Usually it's the other way around.
Though I was getting slightly emotional, didn't think you'd call me out. Was because in that scene you could also see her mom's reaction. You could see how Abby said it's too late and she was storming off, and
yeah.
I feel like you could tell that the mom was kind of like paying attention to that. And then she even said to the dad later, like, our daughter just got her heart broken just because she was afraid that we wouldn't love her anymore if she told us this. And that then she had the realization, like, what does reputation and other people's opinion and like success in the eyes of other people and having a picture perfect family mean if it's not like that internally, right? But yeah, and then obviously how at the end he doesn't take the mayor position and stuff, obviously that was then to be expected. and it was like the happy end that we got. But yeah, I thought that was actually nice how they did that. We read this negative review about the movie on BuzzFeed just before making this video, and we wanted to just discuss it because it comes from the perspective that the person who wrote that review said that they wanted very much just like a cheesy, happy-go-lucky holiday movie, you know, everything's like cheerful, and they found that the movie was kind of a bummer because it actually came with this whole drama and crying and like the whole trauma of having to hide yourself from your family or your partner's family, and that it kind of left a bitter aftertaste of like, why does this need to be so dramatic and sad? Why can't we just have like a swooning holiday cheerful story in there?
What I want to say to that is I think there is too much of this like unrealistic happy holiday film. Like, I understand Christmas is like a time to be happy and jolly and, you know, like sing Christmas carols and all this crap, but it's like we need to have also like a realistic approach and like look to a film, like a Christmas film, I think.
Yeah, it's actually interesting because that person was saying the opposite of what you were saying. You watched the trailer, you were like, this is gonna be some cheesy Christmas movie, not interested. She watched it and was like, whoa, this is gonna be a cheesy Christmas movie, I'm so excited. And then you were like, oh, it didn't turn out to be that way. And she's like, why didn't it turn out to be that way? So yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. And yes, I know what you're saying. I agree with that. And yeah, for me, it was also definitely the opposite of that. I liked that it wasn't just a cheese fest. That being said, I hope that there's gonna be a lot more movies out there like this, and I hope that someone's gonna just make a happy-go-lucky, queer holiday or whatever movie, because it is true that usually lesbian movies, there's some drama, you know. One of them commits suicide, the other one gets killed, they don't have a happy ending, one of them ends up marrying a guy. You know, there's always like high drama. I liked with this one, it still had a happy ending. It had like a cheerful undertone. It did have some messages in there.
So I think a really important part in the film too is when the whole drama is going on with Kristen, and then her friend Dan comes and they're talking outside and she's crying and he's like, you know, like everyone's story is different. He's like, what happened with you? Your parents were like happy for you and, you know, you came out and everything was peachy and fine. He's like, what happened with me? My dad didn't talk to me for 13 years. And he's like, her story is also very different. So I think that like highlighting that everyone's story is very different, especially for, you know, like straight people watching this, you know, it's not always super happy and rainbows and sunshine.
Okay, so
rating.
The big moment is here. What would we rate the film? So I think I would give it 80%. 80. I would give it probably 92.5. Really?
Yeah.
0.5, damn. Why I'm giving it 80, I think 80 is a really good rating. I'm not giving it more than that because it is still a holiday movie and it's still a rom-com, and yeah.
I like that it was Christmassy, like that it was a nice Christmas movie. I like that it was Kristen Stewart in it. I liked that it was funny and sweet. I didn't like how they didn't show the proposal, but it's fine.
Oh yeah, she was so disappointed. She's like, what? She's wearing the ring. I wanted that emotional moment. Maybe it's gonna be in the director's cut. Maybe they cut it out.
Oh, you got emotional.
Oh, you like when I get emotional? Why? Shows you that I'm human.
And not just a rock like this.
Shut up. I know this was a big brain dump, but we hope that you still enjoyed it. I know that a lot of times, especially if you don't have other people to discuss a movie, it's nice to just like watch someone else talk about it. So let us know what you thought of it in the comments.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
See you in the next one. Cheers!